AITA for kicking my son's girlfriend out of our house? I am not the original poster. That is you, throwaway. 467. She posted in r, am I the asshole? Mood spoiler. Second-hand embarrassment while reading but nothing too serious. Less than. Original post. March 29, 2023. My husband, 58M, and I, 56F, recently met my son's, 24M, girlfriend for the first time. He's been crazy about her. Apparently they've been dating for a year before he decided to have her meet us officially. What he's told us about her all seems great. She just got her degree, was enjoying her job, family-oriented, etc. I'm honestly just glad he's happy with her. My husband and I don't think he's ever been this into someone before. So I feel pretty bad about what I did. Last weekend, he brought her over for dinner. By now we'd been anticipating meeting her with how much our son has been gushing about her. How perfect she is. That she's the one. In his words. They ring the doorbell. We open the door. She looks exactly like her pictures. Which is a great start. My son is grinning ear to ear, another great start. We invite them in. She accepts my hug and a firm handshake from my husband. And then she opens her mouth. I'm the one your son puts his penis in. To be frank, I was appalled. I expected my husband to laugh. Both he and my son are jokesters. And as annoying as it can be, I love it. But this was just too much for me. Maybe I'm reserved. But of all things she could have shared about my son, she told us that. One look at my face and my husband knew how much I disapproved. Maybe I let my expectations get too high. And it's unfair to have them. But I reiterate, of all things to say to her boyfriend's parents whom she'd never met, she chose that. My son was amused at first, but when he noticed my reaction his face dropped. I felt like he'd sold me the full package. Everything he'd always been looking for in a girlfriend. I was too disturbed by the visual it put in my head. And it translated into anger. I told her to get out. And I wanted to say more about how gross it made me feel, but I fortunately left it at that. My son didn't want to go, insisting I give her another chance. But I was too fed up and uncomfortable by this point. Even my husband, who's enjoyed his fair share of raunchy jokes, wouldn't let up. They left and I immediately felt guilty. This was something my son had really looked forward to, and I feel like I took that away over a dumb joke. I tried calling to apologize, but he hasn't responded. My husband thinks she's the one who should apologize. I'm considering giving her another chance. But before I do, was I the relevant comments? Is it possible your son told her to say that? This honestly wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not gonna lie, I'd be disappointed in him. That's not something he'd ever say in front of me directly, because he knows I'm not a fan of any of personal jokes of that nature. So to make his girlfriend say it wouldn't be very good, and I'd hope that if that is the case that he makes it up to her somehow. I'll try to reach out again to let them know we can try again. That possibility makes me feel 1,000 times worse. Did she even try to apologize, or was she nervous? I honestly don't think I gave her enough time to react properly. And I regret that. Things could have gone a lot smoother if I had. She was just sort of frozen in shock. And she kept looking at my son to try to convince me not to kick her out. I guess she wasn't sure what else she could say at that point. It's hard to say for sure because I don't know her that well yet. But I think she was anxious. Too much to realize what she said was inappropriate. So if she was embarrassed, I couldn't tell. I also don't think I gave her much of a chance since it all happened so fast. I'll try to reach out to my son about it. Quote, has your husband been making any raunchy jokes leading up to her visit? Something like, can't wait to meet the person you're sleeping with? Quote, I can honestly say no. I've never heard my husband say that. He's raunchy. Yes, but not when it comes to our kids. Oop reflects. I agree I should have been more patient about it. I think if we were to try again things will go much smoother. Hopefully we can laugh about this later down the line. And leave it at that. Quote, I wish I took this approach. Without making too many excuses for myself, I can say I got too caught in the heat of the moment. I'd love to give her another chance. Just as long as I'm not given any more graphic visuals. Especially at dinner. I hope she's willing to try again. He's not forcing me to give her another chance. I want a do-over. I think we all deserve it. I don't think she'll make another joke like that again. Can you try texting, contacting her directly? I would love that approach, but I unfortunately don't have any way of contacting her except through my son. He said he'll give me a call when he gets the chance, so surely by the end of the week. I can't imagine how badly I made her feel about this and regret it. A few heavily downvoted comments on, you should just be more sex positive. Not gonna lie, I think this took an extreme turn. I'm not at all against sex inclusivity, positivity, or whatever it is. I'm well aware it's human nature. And that my son has sex. I know it's normal. But I'm entitled to my ignorance about the details. They've already been dating a year. I'd be surprised if they weren't having sex. That doesn't warrant her saying it though. Edit. Sometime in the next couple of days. I should clear some things up. My husband had no part in my reaction. I did the kicking out. Not him. I don't want him taking the fall for this. He said she should apologize. But I'm not expecting an apology. Sorry for the confusion. My son lives in a nearby state. It can take about an hour to get back to where we live. He also hasn't dated anyone seriously for a while. Maybe a couple of years. He told us before that he wouldn't bring anyone home unless he's sure he wants a future with her. We've been asking to meet her ever since he told us about her. But he wanted to be ready. The comment about her looking like her picture shows my age. Sorry for that. He's only shown us her photos she sent him, as he apparently didn't have any of them together. He hates taking pictures, and apparently she's always teasing him about it. I don't think he'd ever lie about who she is. But it's just a parental concern I've subconsciously had. I felt the same way about my daughter's boyfriend when we first met him. I don't have any criteria that either of my kids' spouses need to meet. I just hope my kids are happy with them. What I meant by her being the full package was indicative of what he's told us about her. As his parents, we have a good idea of what he looks for in a partner, and she checked off everything based on what we'd been told. And on top of everything, aside from what she said, her appearance was how she presented it to be. Again, we aren't strict about appearances. It's just a relief to have met someone for the first time and they look like what you'd expected. My husband said that I was worried about secondhand catfishing, if that's even a thing, lol. I guess it shows how anxious I was about this. Also, thank you for your comments and rewards. I've had a few people reach out to me personally, too. Thank you for that. Regardless of where you stand, I appreciate it. I personally think everyone needs some room for improvement here, but I've done my part to make amends, and I'm waiting on my son to call me. I'll be sure to give an update about how it goes. Oop is voted NTA. Update. Same post. April 9th, 2023. 1.5 weeks later. Thanks for reaching out, everyone. My son got in touch with me. His girlfriend agreed to try again. We all met at a restaurant my son and his girlfriend chose. The first thing she said was an apology for what she said. I apologized for my reaction. We hugged. It was nice. She then explained how my son had convinced her a joke like that would land well, and that she wouldn't have said it if she didn't think we'd like it. According to my son, she was reluctant to open with any jokes at all, but they came up with that one together on the way over. You guys were right. She's a really sweet girl. She's actually very mature, too. I see why my son likes her so much. My husband and I really like her. We told our son to bring her when he visits. We look forward to seeing them again. Overall, I'm glad we could start over on the right foot this time. Thanks, everyone, for your input. So the son did tell her to do that and then didn't stick up for her at the house. Smooth move, my guy. I'm glad the second meetup went well. But the son is an idiot for even suggesting that as a joke. Who says something like that when you meet the parents? Know your audience. The son is clearly clueless. That's not even a funny thing to say. I don't like the son. She might be great, but her boyfriend, who knows his mom a lot better than she does, actually advised her to make that joke? That's concerning. But then, she did willingly go along with it. I'd be surprised if it's smooth sailing from here on out. Glad to see this story ends on a positive note. Still, I don't see how the son could have possibly thought that landing a sexual joke like that off rip would be the best starter. Generally speaking here, just some respect and some yes or no questions is the best bet for meeting parents. Glad it worked out in the end for them and that they were able to set up another meet to see the girl through herself instead of the son's bad joke. Unless a mother is incredibly devoted to dirty jokes, like tells them all the time, then that was the dumbest opener on the face of the planet. The son is a massive idiot, and honestly so is the girlfriend. There's trusting your partner and then there's naivety beyond belief. I'd never. The second-hand embarrassment is fierce right now. Glad it worked out though. Why didn't the son immediately communicate to his parents that it was his stupid idea? If I were the GF, I would be having doubts about this guy. May not be serious enough, but it's better to be cautious and recognize red flags, if any, in the early stages of relationship. That girlfriend is so mature. If I did something like that and got that reaction, I could never show my face again. From both the embarrassment and someone being that mean to me. Justified or not, I would be the Maris or Vera in that son's life. They would know about me, but would never see me. What kind of idiot must the son be to think, yes, this is the way to earn my mom's respect? Ew. But good for Oop for being willing to give it another chance. I hope Oop and the maybe future daughter-in-law forever heckle her son about how ridiculous that joke was. Like epic. Put on cakes and blankets and mugs heckling. Then it's a cute bonding experience for them and he can see what a total goober he was with that joke. Tears of joy. The second she mentioned that the GF kept looking at her son, it was obvious it was that moron's idea. Who tells their girlfriend to say that to their parents on the first meeting? And people saying to be more sex positive are idiots. There's being sex positive and there's this mess. Oh God. This would be so awkward. I assumed right away that the son probably orchestrated this joke. Nobody in their right mind would grade a so's parents for the first time like this. I'm struggling to fathom why she'd ever have agreed to this opener though. It must have taken some heavy convincing. I do think OOP's reaction was ridiculous though. As awkward and disrespectful as the joke was, it didn't warrant being instantly kicked out of the house. I don't even want to know how bad an argument must have taken place between the son and his GF on the hour drive home. The ending was wholesome though. And the son didn't go, "Wait mom, I told her to say that it's not her fault," at any point before the apology dinner? Deadpan face. I'd have probably fired back with, "And I'm the one whose vagina he came out of," in quite a snarky manner. Son is a doofus for putting his GF up to that. More so for not even owning his spectacular misjudgment. Anyone else think that the GF blurted it out through nervousness? was absolutely mortified. And the son came up with the, I convinced her to say it, in order to smooth things over. The mom completely overreacted though. Unless the body jokes continued, I'd be willing to overlook any initial poor taste jokes and write them off as nervousness. Yikes. I know a joke can be a great icebreaker, but FFS, keep them rated PG when meeting your partner's parents. The son is definitely an idiot, but I am glad that they worked it out. I hope there will smooth sailing from now on. I don't like the son or the parents here. The girl should run for the hills tbh. I like how Oop completely glazes over how son reacts, or even downplays his immaturity. She doesn't seem to be a reliable, unbiased narrator, especially towards her son.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. EpicAircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.